what was your logistics process before you start working with Skypace?
Yep. So the traditional freight forwarders that we work with, well, of course, are traditional. So everything is more or less done through email. We email in a rate request for whichever lanes we're looking to get a quote for. They reply back to us ideally within a day because, of course, we are a bird trading company. We usually, when we are requesting rates, we are looking to price some form of cargo. So to be able to get a rate, immediately is important for us, right? So primarily the freight forwarders that we work with, they get back to us within a day or two, maybe a little bit longer if it is like a less usual routing. But we like to think that they get back to us pretty fast. In cases where they take longer, it is a little bit detrimental for us in terms of business, as if we're waiting for the rate and we cannot reply to a supplier, a potential supplier, in terms of pricing because we don't know the ocean freight. That's where it can be detrimental to us in terms of having a good response rate through traditional freight forwarders.
What made you place your first order?
For us, it's really about the rate that we get. As a trading company, we primarily, focus on the volume of business that we do. So we're very rate sensitive to each lane that we get, right? If we can shave off $50 to $100, that's $50 to $100 more in our pockets, really. And all the times we're able to also pass that off to the suppliers that we work with, where we might be in contention for some kind of cargo against other potential competitors, right? So if we're able to come in with lower costs, provide a better price to our suppliers, it increases our chance, of course, then to get the cargo that we're then bidding on and doing long-term business with a current supplier or a new potential supplier. Further to the price was just being able to do instant searches for rates and get immediate feedback on what carrier options are available, what their rates are, a breakdown of the rates, without me needing to ask further questions on, what are the additional charges, what other, accessorial things that we need to keep in mind of when we're shipping the cargo. It's important for us to be able to access these things on an instant basis, again, to be able to give feedback to our clients, whether it is our supplier or to our buyer, actually. Because for us, we don't work a 9 to 5, we work, 9 to 9. So oftentimes we have a lot of clients in Southeast Asia, in Europe, and they all operate on different time zones. So, if it's 10 p.m. and I have a client that is looking to get a price for a material, and at that point, if I send an email out to a freight forwarder, absolutely no one is going to reply, and there's a chance they might not even see it. But with Skypace, I can instantly search out the rates and give feedback to my clients on what we can do.
What was your experience from the quote to departure delivery?
There's no major differences in terms of the process. Of course, through Skypace, we can request a quote and we can directly book or request a booking through the Skypace website. Where it's similar is by email, requesting booking and arranging all those details from there.
Would you recommend Skypace to other businesses?
Yeah, of course, I'd recommend Skypace to other businesses. Especially in our case, I'd be hesitant to because, of course, any other businesses that we work with are either within the same field of business as us, and having better rates and a better freight forwarder experience is a benefit to us, but to competitors, it is then a detriment to us, right? Because then they can offer the same rates. But on the basis of how Skypace operates and ease of use and just transparency as well, of course, I'd recommend Skypace for other businesses to use. Yeah, I think there's no reason to have to kind of chase down multiple freight forwarders, ask all of them, you find 4 or 5, you ask all of them the same rates. They give you 5 different numbers, all within, $50 to $100 to $200 of each other, and then trying to determine, which one can give you a better service, which one can give you a better rate. It's a hassle, especially if you're shipping from multiple locations where, you send out a list of 10. I don't want to hassle other people with it too, right? So it's a lot of manual work where a lot of times we're still evaluating whether or not a deal can work, but we can't finalize it without knowing pricing. And sometimes rates come in much higher than expected. So at that point, it's like we've wasted the time of some of our freight forwarders in that regard. So it's helpful in using Skypace to avoid some of that needless work where we're not sure whether or not it can work, and if it really makes a big difference in terms of freight costs, we don't have to hassle them to manually go and take a look at rates.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Devin, that's it. It's a wrap. I appreciate that.